Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Good morning
Yelena. I meet everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
In the meantime, we are waiting the participant. Good morning to everyone.
We are.
Good morning to everyone, to those who are connected to LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. My name is Silvia Caneva. I'm the coordinator of the SocialRES project. I'm happy to welcome you to this webinar number 10 of the SocialRES project. We are here with María Regidor from Energética. Before giving the floor to Maria, I would like to give you a short introduction of SocialRES. I welcome the participants that we have here in Zoom, because we are in a Zoom meeting that is available also on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. I kindly invite the person connected in Zoom to mute themselves and to keep the camera off until the presentation of Maria. After the presentation of Maria, we will have the possibility, you first here in Zoom, to ask to Maria your question related to her presentation. And then, of course, we will have also the possibility, if you are from Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn, to interact with us. So, as I said, my name is Silvia Caneva. I'm the coordinator of SocialRES. SocialRES is an European project co-financed by the European Commission under the Horizon 2020 program. And SocialRES has the aim to foster, let's say, the implementation of social innovation in the renewable energy sector. In SocialRES, we have defined social innovation as the cooperative, the crowdfunding platform, and then peer-to-peer energy trading platform able to provide citizens with renewable energies, but also able to provide the citizens with the possibility to collaborate with each other. Let's say that's why we call them social innovation, because with this innovation, we are able to put the LinkedIn, the citizen in contact among them, and therefore create a sustainable energy transition. This is the webinar number 10. We are going to organize other webinars in SocialRES. The next one is the 8th of June with another cooperative member of SocialRES, AINER. As I said before, today we have here María Regidor for Energética. Maria is an engineer, I would say, with a strong passion for renewable energies. She was working for several years for Cartif, at a well-known research center in Spain at the energy division. And now she's providing her contribution, her passion to a very relevant cooperative, Energética, in Spain. We are really happy to have here Maria with us today. So Maria, I give you the floor to you. I will switch off my camera now to facilitate, let's say, your presentation. I invite again the participant connecting in Zoom, please keep your microphone off, your camera off, and then really we can talk together, let's say, after the presentation of Maria. So Maria, thanks again for your participation today. I give you the floor. Please, Maria, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Silvia. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes.
I'm going to share the screen. Let me know if you can see. Okay.
In the presentation mode, perfect.
Okay, perfect. Oh, wait a second.
Yes, I am still here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, perfect. It's working.
Well, my name is María Regidor. I'm working in Energética Coop. It's a Spanish cooperative based in Castilla y León, and I will talk you about how to foster collective energy transition in both rural and urban and rural areas based on our experience. The content of the webinar will be basically giving you an overview of who we are and our local context. Then I will explain a little bit about our current regulation on self-consumption and how we drive our collective initiatives to drive the energy transition, and then some barriers that we found in our work. Okay, so first of all, we are an energy cooperative that was born in February 2015 as a citizen alternative to bigger companies, because by that moment there was some news and showing the, let's say, low transparency of these big companies, and there was a citizen energy movement, and a lot of energy cooperatives were born by that time, and we were one of them. We operate in the most part of Castilla y León, that is the biggest autonomous community in Spain. We are around 2,000 members, and we give a lot of importance to the governance of the cooperative. So we work with a general assembly that is formed by all the members. From the general assembly, there's an election for the board, and 10 members are elected. They meet every 2 weeks and to make the, let's say, operative decisions of the cooperative. And then we are also a technical team with now 9 employees right now. Apart from this, we are distributed also in local groups in the different provinces of the region that work mainly, they are made by volunteers that mainly work with, their role is more to disseminate the cooperative and to organize events and give visibility in the places where let's say the employees we cannot reach. And we have also some thematic working groups depending on the needs of the cooperative. Right now, the active ones are the strategic plan working group and one on gender equality. As a cooperative, we provide different energy services to our members, mainly based on their demand, because sometimes we are not providing something, but a member comes to ask. So let's say that we have shaped our portfolio based on the demand of the members. Our first activity was the energy retailing. We have now around 3,000 contracts, and we are not an independent energy retailer. We have an agreement with Some Energia, which is the biggest cooperative in Spain. Maybe you know them. But we also provide individual and collective PV self-consumption systems, then also provide residential heating and cooling systems to our members. We have the service of energy efficiency advisory. We work with energy communities, we work in innovation projects, and we also provide support for participation methodologies for energy projects. Well, sometimes we are asked to provide different services that, well, let's say that we work in a really wide different fields, but all of them related to offer or to give more energy independence to our members. As a cooperative, we give a lot of importance to the social life, and because we want that all the members feel part of a community, but this needs dedication. So the most important events in the cooperative are the general assemblies. We have 2 general assemblies per year in which we discuss about them or make the decision of the most important topics on the, let's say, the operative issues of the cooperative. We also have one educational event per year called energy meetings, or in Spain, encuentros energéticos, that are mainly focused on give some training to the members depending on the hot topics. Sometimes they have been about self-consumption or about cooperativism or about energy efficiency. It depends on the year. As we also live in a community with a very big rural area, we want to support our villages. So we celebrate one event called Energy Villages, or in Spanish, Pueblos Energéticos, that is more a celebration than an educational event. And each year we celebrate it in a different village. We also do a lot of online talks, depending on, for example, recently with the Next Generation funds, there are some grants that our members can apply for. So we have been explaining them all the process. We also prepare some participative workshops if we need, or if we want the opinion of the members, and sometimes we don't feel comfortable with this deciding everything. So we want to count with the opinion of the cooperative members. And we also collaborate with local entities, associations, and schools. So as you can see, our social life is quite active, and this is something that we give really importance in the cooperative. Now, well, this slide is just to talk you about our local context. Castilla y León is a really wide region. It represents around 18% of the total Spanish area. The peculiarity is that our population density is quite low. While in Europe, the average is 72 inhabitants per square kilometer, in our region, we are only 25 inhabitants per square kilometer. So as you can see, we are three times less than the European average. We have also a really old population. The average age is 47 years, while in Europe is 39. And well, this makes that a lot of the young people goes from our villages or our cities to other cities looking for job opportunities in Madrid, in Barcelona. So the average age is growing and growing and growing. Well, our economy is based on the primary sector, mainly agriculture and livestock activities, and our climate is oceanic continental. This means that we have really cold winters and hot summers with short intermediate periods in between. It's like we don't have spring or autumn sometimes. The precipitations are low, but we have a lot of sun, which is nice for photovoltaics. And I will talk you now about the regulation in Spain on self-consumption, which is interesting and is something in which we based all our activities. There are several modalities, but the most interesting one is the self-consumption with the economic compensation. This means that every month there's an economic compensation of the energy surpluses at a price that is fixed by each energy retailer. The capacity of the systems can be up to 100 kilowatts. And we have one figure that is really interesting, and that is the collective self-consumption. This means that there are the same PV systems shared between two or more users. All the users must be up to 500 meters from the generation point, but there's no need of the physical connection. There's the need of connect physically the installation with one point of consumption, but the rest of the users is just a document that they have to sign, which is called the share agreement. In this agreement, the people sign the percentage of the system that they own, for example, 20%, 25%, or whatever. And the economic of the mechanism for the economic compensation of energy surpluses work in a way that when you are producing energy and consuming energy at the same time, this energy doesn't go to the energy bill. Sometimes you are not producing as much energy as you are consuming, like for example at nights, then you have to take energy from the grid. And when you have a surplus of energy because you are not using as much energy as you are producing, the energy that goes to the grid is aggregated monthly. And then in the energy bill, you have like a kind of discount that you multiply the energy that you put in the grid by the price fixed by the energy retailer. So you have like your, you pay less in your energy bill. In the collective self-consumption, it works the same way, but you don't need, let's say, it's like you have an individual self-consumption installation or PV system as the capacity of the percentage of the total collective PV system. So we mainly work with this modality both individual and collective. And that's the, let's say, the best way to spread the energy transition in our members, because other ways of renewable energy generation in a distributed way are more difficult. So now I'm going to talk about the collective initiatives that we are running in Energética. The first one is called Solar Communities, or in Spanish, Comunidades Solares. And then I will talk you about different initiatives that we are running in both rural and urban areas. Okay, Solar Communities was an initiative that we ran before COVID. The idea was to create communities of individual self-consumption systems at local level, working always in neighborhoods, or for example, in nearby villages. The idea was to collective purchase and size all the installation, make the technical visits at the same time, provide all the studies at the same time to all the members. And the most important feature of this project was that we made a lot of collective training before and after the installation. So we address topics like explaining the self-consumption mechanism, but also give all the members the energy efficiency tips, explain them how to access the application in their smartphone to see the generation and the consumption at real time. We have also met to talk about potential energy projects in the future in the neighborhood. So, but with COVID, this has been difficult because we made all the meetings physically during the quarantine, and after we have made some online meetings. But well, let's say that in these rare times, we are more focused now on individual self-consumption itself, not in the using the solar communities project. But we are, let's say that we want to work again with the solar communities because it's very interesting, then it's more efficient. You can explain everything at the same time. You can create discussion and conversations between the members that otherwise wouldn't have place if the visits would be just individually. And it's more rewarding also for us. In this regard, we created a web page called You Can Access There. Here is the link, and in which we explain all the modalities of self-consumption that we have, some standardized systems that we are offering to our members, and a lot of information really useful for understanding how this works. This project can be applied both in urban and rural areas, as I said, because in urban areas we can work in a neighborhood, but in rural areas we can work both in a village, if there are small villages that are close one to the other, we can meet with all of the people interested at the same time. Regarding energy communities, not just projects on self-consumption, but something more collective and build more collective as energy communities, I want to show you an interesting case that we have in a village in Burgos the village is called Ajes. It is a small village in which the municipality has installed 2 collective systems. It's the municipality who owns the systems, and they are using municipal rooftops, and the objective is on one side to cover all the municipal consumption, but also to provide to give the opportunity to residential users to participate also in the self-consumption. So the users that want to join the system, they have to pay an annual fee for being part of the collective system. The fee is calculated for they to have economic benefits through the economic compensation of surpluses. What it has been really interesting here is to make the participation process to create the agreement of use, because there's a document that everything is written there, how can participate, who has preference, how much money they have to pay per year, what happens if some of them want to leave the installation, or what happens if someone want to join. And this document is revisable annually. So in these cases in which we want to create energy communities, it's very important to dedicate a lot of work to have conversations with the people and to make this participative process in which they can feel comfortable and they can express their opinion, because then you find that there are a lot of different views depending on the people, if they live in the village or in the city at the same, depending on the season of the year, if they work in the village, if they don't, if they are younger, if they don't. So it's very important to put everything in common and make people feel comfortable with the decision-making process. Our project in urban areas, in one hand, we have the idea of create energy communities based on big systems around 100 kilowatts that are owned by the cooperative. The idea here is to use municipal rooftops, but we need a public tender to access. So we are in a process in which, for example, in Valladolid, in our city, the municipality is working on a tender, and then we will have to apply for a different locations to make the installation there. Users within 500 kilometers are invited to participate, and they will have to pay a monthly or yearly fee. These systems are really big, so there's a lot of people, a potential big group of people participating here. So there's a need of a comprehensive participative process to define the agreement of use. In our case, we are working in 5 or 6 neighborhoods in Valladolid, and well, the process started some months ago, so this is not something fast. This is something slow. You have to meet several times. You have to make proposals to the preliminary proposals about how much money they had to pay, how big would be the system, and after that have a discussion, then in a second round send another proposal, explain everything to everyone. So there are long processes that are really rewarding, but of course they are difficult. But we think it's the best way to give access to everybody, because not everybody has the opportunity to put PV systems in the rooftop, and in this way we can provide this opportunity to all the people, and to have, let's say, that more or less capacity available. There will be people that maybe need really, the needs are really low, and for them it makes no sense to have an individual installation, but maybe be part of a collective one. Having a really small share is economically is better for them. So this is the formula that we would like to adopt everywhere, and in which we are working on right now. Then we have also the some demand of our members to have self-consumption systems for multi-apartment buildings. In this case, it's not like an energy community, or as we call the energy communities in Energética. This will be more a collective self-consumption. In this case, the PV systems are owned by I mean, of course, it's owned by the people that is living in the building, not by Energética. So the PV systems are sized according to their needs. Sometimes they cover the consumption of some users and also of the community itself, of the building itself, of the services for the, I don't know, the lights of the or whatever. They need also to sign an agreement of use and of investment, because if the system is paid by, I don't know, 5 users, and then one want to join, they have to agree if they want to let a new user to join the collective system or not. This is something that they have to decide. Of course, technically everything is allowed, but here we find the problem of to reach agreement between the people. In our case here, we make the technical part and we support them to define this agreement of use. Here, no fees are foreseen or needed because each user is paying their part of the installation. And well, the main barriers that we have found are more related to the collective systems than the individual ones. The main one is to bring all participants to an agreement. As I say, there are a lot of views, a lot of requirements, a lot of different ways of or understanding. So it's important to put everything in common and find a common solution. And of course, consider all the people that is interested there, so no one feel like they are apart from the process. Also, related to this, get the permission of the community to install a system could be difficult in the cases in which only a few users of the community want to participate, because the rooftop is something common and there you need the permission of the other neighbors to install something that they are not going to use. So, well, this is shouldn't be difficult, but sometimes it is. And also another barrier for us is to get the permission for using public rooftops. As I told you, for example, in Valladolid, we are waiting for the public tender, and we don't know how much time we will have to wait until it is published, and then let's see if we are able to get the final opportunity or not. And another barrier that we have seen is that the procedures with the DSO are really long sometimes, and the people get nervous. But well, I would say that in order just to sum up and finish my presentation, I would say that we have to work quite hard on all the participative processes with the people, because I would say that at least in our region we are not used to make things collective, and like the things the trend is that we are each time more individual than we prefer the individual things than collective, and this is the opposite. So we have to work and to convince people and persuade people that collective systems and collective works are needed if we want to address the energy transition as fast as possible and in the more efficient way. So, well, from my side, this is everything. I think we have half an hour now to discuss or to answer questions.
Yes, thanks a lot, Maria. Thanks a lot for your presentation. I have some questions, but before giving me the possibility to make this question, I would like to ask for our participant here that we have in Zoom if they have any question for you. May I ask Maria to stop the presentation so we can
Okay.
see? Thanks a lot. Perfect. So let's see. if there are any questions from the participants here today. Otherwise, we can ask our colleague from Icons, Alice and Marta, if they see any question from LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. Otherwise, I have a question for you. Okay, since not that for the moment there are no questions for our participants today, but please just take the floor. You can. Yes.
Yeah, this is Mario del Viejo from Extremadura region. It's a region in Spain too. I have a question for Maria related to what kind of policy changes do you think that are needed to boost these kind of solutions?
Well, I don't know if police. I would say that
well, it could be I don't know, financial support. It could be also training, information offices. I don't know.
Yeah, well, from my point of view, we have had now a lot of like a really nice drive that is the Next Generation funds. But the problem is that sometimes these funds are not, from my point of view, well organized. There are a lot of funds at the same time that the energy cooperatives sometimes we cannot face. There's a lot of work, and some part of this kind of work, that is all the participative processes, needs time. So when they publish a call for funding and in 3 days all the money is gone, it's like you don't have enough time to prepare all the work related to an energy community. So finally, at the end of the day, like the beneficiaries will be individual self-consumption systems from people that is interested. But maybe we should, I think that things should be more slow to give us the time to prepare everything, because from my point of view, it's better to have a big system for a lot of people than individual ones, because it's more efficient, and yeah, it allows more people to participate. So it's not, I would say that we shouldn't think in install renewable energy only a lot, but also considering the people itself and who has access, who not, who can afford this kind of initiative. So to think more on the social part of the transition and not only in the technical part of installing everything all the time. This would be my view.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks to you, Mario, for your question. Any other question from the participant that I see here in Zoom?
Hi, Maria.
Hi.
Hola.
Hello, Daniel. Good morning.
My name is Daniel Webben. Vivo aquí en Segovia. Entonces, I'm a member of Energética, and so I know a little bit about what's going on. But I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about, the social aspect and how that has possibly changed. I mean, the pandemic was a huge barrier to communicating and doing some of these in-person meetings. But I'm wondering also how Energética and how you're kind of trying to think about these energy communities in terms of EU policy with the Repower EU program and trying to shut off gas, coming from Russia, and how you're kind of adjusting to that right now. I mean, just communicating anything about energy for the past year has been so difficult because prices have been changing, the policies are changing, and I mean, I'm really proud to be a member of Energética, but I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about how you've seen the kind of change and how you've been able to talk to potential customers or potential community groups, especially about this need to shift away from fossil fuels towards more collaborative community projects in light of broader developments across the EU. Or are they concerned about it? Maybe they aren't as worried about those things.
We would be very glad if you would like to create a working group in Segovia.
Well, we have the worst policies in Segovia. Es difícil en Castilla y León, pero it's even worse in Segovia. But anyway, I would love to do that. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, with the last changes, it's really difficult to communicate because it's like once you know the current regulation, something new comes. So energy is a very difficult topic for the people in general. And we have in the cooperative, we know that we have a problem that we cannot do everything we want to do because we are just now nine people working there, and even without communicating anything, we have a lot of demand. So we need to balance this is something in which we think every day how we can communicate things but at the same time be able to address all the demand, because if we communicate and a lot of people come, then we're not going to provide a good service for them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is related to the work of the cooperative, like the daily work. In terms of communicating the energy changes and so on, I mean, that's the reason of creating these events on the villages or the encuentros energéticos and so on, because it's a way of putting together all the people and feel part of a community, and of course learn. And it's true that with the COVID we haven't done this. We made all the meetings online, and it's good because you are still doing things for the members and give them what you promised that you would do is some training, but at the end of the day you are not reaching everyone at the same time, like the same way that if you did it physically, because all these our events, even they are focusing on education or training, we also have concerts or have a meal or have whatever. So it's a really good place to create also this, for example, local groups. If we sometimes we have made in Valladolid, but other time we made in Burgos. Maybe next time can be in Segovia, and maybe there are people that didn't know Energética, but they like the initiative, and then you or other people can create another group to made of volunteers and make dissemination there. So of course I think the physical meetings are really important, at least in our region, because we are a really wide region and we need to have presence in all the provinces. But the truth is that now we are working from Valladolid, even we move to make technical visits or talks or whatever. But of course we need the support of the members of the cooperative in other provinces to increase the knowledge and to help us to disseminate the cooperative and all the things that are happening in the energy market or system right now. I don't know if I answer you or not.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks to you, Daniel. Thanks to also for this question. Yes, I see the emergency, let's say, to try to involve as much person as possible, in the clean energy transition. And from one side, the difficulties of the cooperative to have the funding, the person, the staff able to deal with this transition. So I fully agree with you, Maria, that you can even disseminate more what you're doing with your cooperative, but then you need to be able to address your client in the proper way. So yes, it's a big and good challenge, I would say, that we have in this time. Also, as you were mentioning, this next generation fund, yes, if you don't have enough time to read, I suppose, what they ask to properly write is a pity, because then you cannot get the funds. So I think a lot has to be done already. And then you say, Maria, that is more the problem, say, let's call it the challenge to be member of a cooperative is more psychological, because the person, they got used to be things done as individual. So I think it would be easier to install a photovoltaic system by themselves than be a member of a cooperative. I correctly understood that there is this...
well, more than be part of a cooperative is that be part of a collective system to participate. I mean, not there. We have a lot of members in the cooperative that they fully support the energy transition, but they want to do on their own to install their own system because, well, they say it's very difficult to deal with my neighbors. We don't like each other. So, but this is, I think, in Spain especially, is really a barrier that we have, that we should try to work on it, because at the end of the day, for them, economically is more interesting if they share the installation, because there are some parts that will be common and they don't have to pay 10 inverters, they will have to pay just one, or
Yes.
these kind of things. So I think there's a lot of work to do in this sense.
Yes. If I correctly understood, so they said, okay, I can be member, but I install my photovoltaic system alone. I don't want to go to the general assembly. I don't want to deal with this social part, let's say.
Well, not as, for one thing is to be part of the cooperative. The cooperative provide a lot of services, and one of them is self-consumption. I was referring to self-consumption itself, that when they have to decide between have their own individual system or be part of a bigger one, a collective one, there's some of them, or a lot of them, prefer to have their own system and avoid problems with neighbors, or it's easier in, for example, in multi-apartment building, because they just have one rooftop and they don't have the room for their own system. But for example, in villages in where there are 3 or 4 houses, there could be a good option to have just one installation or one system shared between all of them, but they prefer to have their own one, even it is expensive, because we are individuals. We are not used to share anything with our neighbors. Yeah, I would say this is a barrier sometimes.
Okay, but then if you don't have a photovoltaic system, how are the steps to be member of your cooperative? And so let's suppose that I'm a citizen, I want to be member of Energética. I contact you, of course, then I receive a normal tariff, electricity tariff. So there are all this, which are the steps, if you can summarize for our audience?
Well, to be member of the cooperative is easy. You just have to pay the initial fee, but it's not annually, it's just one pay of 100 euros in our case, and you can leave the cooperative whenever you want. Be part of the cooperative doesn't imply that you have to have the energy contract with us. It doesn't mean that you have to install anything. I mean, you can just be part of the cooperative and support the cooperative, and that's all. And I don't know, install your system with another company. It's okay, it's totally fine for us. But only being a member of the cooperative, you can access to our services.
Exactly. Yes.
So it is different.
Okay, because in case that I am a citizen, I want to have 100% renewable energies in this place of Spain where you are active, through your cooperative, this is possible. Because I'm asking this question because some person they even do not know that it's possible to get access to 100% renewable energies, being member of cooperative, and so it's very important that we inform them.
In our case, as I told you before, we are not an independent retailer. We have an agreement with Som Energia, that is another cooperative, but they provide only their electricity, or they provide, comes only from renewable energy sources.
Exactly.
So this is possible with us, of course.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to have the photovoltaic system on your roof, because in the cooperative, you can also take part to this, let's say, contribute to this biggest photovoltaic system. In this way, you are able to contribute anyhow, even though you don't have the photovoltaic system in your house. It's correct. Yeah. Okay. Yes, please, you wanted to add something?
No, I mean that, for example, one thing is to be part, or to be part of a system, a collective system in which you will participate in the self-consumption modality itself,
Yes.
then you can also have your energy contract with us that will be renewable energy, but this energy doesn't come from our part of it is coming for our own or this I don't know, the generation plants of some energia, but
Yes.
a lot of it comes from the energy pool. And then there are big companies with that are selling the energy in the energy pool. So another thing that the cooperatives should or would like to do is to generate the same energy that we are consuming, because right now we are buying energy to big companies, of course also to smaller producers, but
Yeah, but it's anyhow 100% renewables, so you have
it's
this as
renewable, of
yes.
course, but another important topic is who is the owner of the energy, because at
Yes.
then it's the energy is always from the same companies. So that's why the cooperative should be, or we would like to grow in order to be able to have our own
Yes.
generation plants.
Exactly, to be
But this is
independent.
another problem. Everything problems.
Yes, you want to say to be independent from the
Kind
other
of.
energy sources, to be the to have all the control on the source of the energy sources that then you provide to the citizens, so to guarantee that is really renewable. And of course, is a renewable energy, even though you buy from other providers.
Yeah, but this will be energy in our hands, generation in our hands.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and we know
which is
how,
called energy democracy.
Exactly. We know how much important it is with the war in Ukraine, but in general, to be energy independent, and also guarantee that we are not using fossil fuels, because it's not only to be independent, but also to guarantee that we are producing energy with something that is not creating problem to our planet. So this is the main reason why it's fantastic to have a person like you that is with your contribution, your passion, you are contributing to this energy cooperative, that you have decided to have this mission in your life. So it's very important, because we see how much important it is for two reasons, to be independent from certain kind of mechanisms related to the world, but also to contribute, to be sure that with our progress, we are not creating a problem at the end to ourselves, because if we have contaminated the planet with the global warming, now we are just so we are creating problems to the human beings. So it's very important, these initiatives. So thanks a lot, Maria. I really wanted to highlight that. That's why I asked you a question, that you do not need to have a photovoltaic system to be a member of a cooperative, because sometimes this could be a barriers, in a lot of person that they said, okay, I cannot contribute, but it's quite easy to be member of cooperative. Be sure that we can give the contribution, and then if you have the photovoltaic system, much better, because then you take part to this collective action. You are able to share, as you say, the energy, also not only for self-consumption, but also in this area of 500 meters from the generation, if I corrected the city. Okay, any other question from our participant in Zoom? Or let me know, Alice and Marta, if you have questions.
Yes, no question from Twitter and LinkedIn or YouTube, but there was someone here in Zoom that wrote that the presentation was very interesting.
Okay. I have not seen the... Okay, perfect. Maria, do you want to add anything else to your contribution of today?
Not really. Thank you all of you for attending.
Thanks for your time. As I said, next time is the 8th of June. We have another cooperative member of SocialRES, is Ainer from France this time. So as you see here with SocialRES, we try to disseminate as much as we can what we see, because in Europe there are a lot of great example, as this one given by Maria, for contributing to the clean energy transition. So we will try to do our contribution, our part, thanks to the participant to you today. And thanks also to Alice and Marta. They are in the background, but they are providing all the technical support. So
in the chat, I've added the link to know more about our next webinar and to register.
Okay, Perfect. Have you written, Alice?
Yes, in the chat.
Okay. No, I'm not able to see the chat, but okay. Okay.
I see that you
Okay.
put there the link.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks again, Maria, Alice, Marta, all the participants that I see here, Daniel, Justina, Lyra, and Mario. Thanks for your question. I see you if you want in a few weeks, late of June, again with SocialRES, then we have other webinars. We have also other three webinars until the end of 2022. Okay, thanks a lot. We can close these webinars now. Have a nice day from my side.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you very much.
Thank
Ciao.
you.